Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Brandy. If you are new here, if you are not, hey girl, hey, welcome back. So it is no secret that I buddy read with my daughter. Y'all already know when my daughter goes on breaks from school, we are buddy reading. In between time, we try to get a little book in here or there, but with her going to school and me going to work, we try to just hold off on our buddy reads until she get like school breaks, right? So we've been exploring, trying to find our authors, trying to find our genres that we really love to read together. Baby girl is not about that mushy lovey-dovey stuff. She's not gonna read no YA romance. She don't have time for that. She really prefers something with some thrill and some suspense. We are both tapping into fantasy together. Most of our buddy reads have been YA fantasy, which I love for us. We love Kaylin Barron. We just finished Cinderella is Dead, and that will be our third book read from the author. So we just love her books. So this time, if you guys watched the previous video when I went to the library, I've already showed you guys that this time we are exploring a new to us together author. Not new to me, but new to her. But this genre is a YA genre. This author writes in multiple genres, which I love. So I've been having this book sitting on my TBR for a while. And I figured since we've already read like 3 books from Kaylin Barron, this would be the good opportunity or the good time for us to explore someone else and see who else we can add to our auto read list. So this time we decided to pick up Pet by Kweke Menzie. And like I said, I already went to the library to pick up this book with you guys. So you guys already seen me go pick this book up. And I'm kind of excited about this one because like I said, Kweke is one of my auto buy authors, and they can write in every single genre. So I was like, why not check out the YA side of Kweke's writing with my daughter? And so this one is a little bit different for my daughter. In this book, we're exploring transgender in this book, and it's new. So the thing about introducing specific topics or any type of topic with my daughter is that I am working really hard at trying to incorporate reads that are not just fun, but educational. And when I say educational, in every avenue, right? Like historical fiction, real life things, and just anything that you're not seeing every day in the house, or anything that you're not seeing in your textbooks every day at school. It's my job as a mom, or it's me and my husband's job as parents to do our due diligence and teach our kids. So with our reading, I told her everything is not going to be fun. Some things we're going to have to actually pay attention, read, and see what the message is in these books. And so far, we've been reading things that are normal in today's society, but not necessarily normal in our household. So transgender, for instance, our main character name is Jam, and Jam is transgender. And in this book, we are getting a story of Jam meeting a monster, and the monster name is Pet. And so the kids in this novel is being taught that monsters no longer exist. And Jam has come in contact with this said monster that she is now calling Pet. And she is having to distinguish between angels and monsters. So between people who are not mean towards others and their societal norms versus people who are mean to others because what others decide to do with their lives is different from theirs. So when my daughter started this book, you guys are, if you've been here a long time, y'all know baby girl don't play. She be ready to DNF a book on page 1. If it does not grasp her attention on page 1, she's ready to call it quits. You really have to encourage her to keep reading. If that page one does not draw her in, you have to give her some type of context. You have to let her know the reason behind what we are reading, because if you do not, she's gonna sit that book down and she's not gonna pick it back up. That's just how she is. And I don't blame her, right? Because reading is supposed to be enjoyable. First of all, if you're doing it as a hobby, you're supposed to enjoy it. But I had to wheel her back in, and a few times I have to wheel her back in and be like, no, we need to read this one. This one is important. This is what's going on in this one. So I had to do the same thing with her today. And I had to kind of explain to her why certain books are picked for our buddy reads. Like, we gonna have these fun ones where we're having this ongoing conversation about what's fun and dislikable characters and things like that. But we're also gonna have those books that's gonna make us think a little bit harder. And we're gonna have those harder conversations because I don't want her to get out into the world and notice that what she's being taught or what she sees at home is completely different in the world. Like, I told her, what me and your dad do is our norm, and we will always encourage you and show you that we are the standard. However, when you start to get into like high school and college, you're going to see other things. And I don't want you to approach these new things and call them weird because you don't do them and you were not taught these things. I want you to be able to see these things, recognize what's going on because you were educated beforehand to know what is going on around you. So that's my spiel about Pet. There is a sequel to this one called Bitter, and what I've learned is Bitter is Jam's mom. So that one seems to be from Jam's mom's perspective. So yeah, I am I stopped on chapter 3. So far, so good. I can see why my daughter was hesitant because the writing style is a little bit different for her. The writing style in here, like you really have to pay attention. Like, you can't just read like you would read for a good time. You really need to pay attention to what's going on. You need to be able to make connections. You need to understand what the author is trying to say. So with this buddy read, because she's not here, she is on spring break, and she did take the book with her. I am going to be texting her throughout our reading process this week to kind of give her some context of what's going on. So I did do that for her today. When I started it, I had to let her know like what's going on with Jam, what is the monster there for, and things like that, so that she is comfortable with reading and understanding, okay, this is what this is what that means. So yeah, I decided that this was going to be a video because a lot of you probably have kids and you want to buddy read with your kids too. And I know I see the question all the time, how can I get my kids to read? And my response to that is to read with them. Don't just give them a book and tell them to read it, because if they don't see you reading that book, they're not going to want to be interested in that book either. And I know a lot of us here on my channel or on this side of the internet, we read, but sometimes we're not open to reading multiple genres and multiple things. So you have to be willing to read with your kids, and then when you think about it, say you do give your child a book, right? How you know they read it if you ain't ever read it? What questions you gonna ask them? What clarifying questions or comprehension questions are you gonna ask your kid about a book you never read? You can't, right? So I think the best thing to do if you're trying to get your children to read more is to buddy read with them. I think a lot of the books that me and baby girl have read are great conversation starters. And whenever I review the books here for like my monthly wrap-ups, I'll let you guys know that this will be a great conversation starter for you and your preteen. and my daughter is 13 years old. So we do read books that are specific for her age range. I have a lot of YA books that I have on my shelf that I'm not ready for her to read yet because they are a little bit advanced. But the ones that I do find that's like in the 13 to 14 or 13 to 15-year-old range, we're picking them up and we're going to be eating them up. So if you know any YA authors that write in that specific age range, drop them below because we are looking for more authors other than Kaylin Bayron. We love Kaylin. My daughter loves her down. But baby, we're going to have to find something else to read. So I'm reading, and the female main character, the little girl, name is Jam. And at the beginning of the book, I was kind of confused because I thought she was nonverbal or hearing impaired, and she's not. She just wouldn't talk when she was younger. So her parents taught her how to sign. However, she knows how to talk. She just decided, I don't want to. Like, I'm only going to talk when I feel like talking. So they decided to learn how to sign. That way, when she didn't feel like talking, they would just sign. And so throughout the first 3 chapters, like at first, in the first chapter, you really don't know. Like, you could tell that something was wrong, but it wasn't really clarified until I think we got to chapter 2. So now what's kind of weird to me is not only does Jam, the female main character, sign when she doesn't feel like talking, but I noticed like the mom, she talks kind of weird. Not weird. The mom talks kind of funny. Like she, it seems like she's using the wrong words in her sentence. I don't know if Okweke is writing the story specifically to be like that. Obviously they are. They're making the character talk like that. But now I'm wondering why is there disconnect with her English? Why is her English so choppy? So like it says, you know, boy, my ears must be plugged up. You know, boy, my ears must be plugged up. I could swear you just tell me something about letting me paint. And that was a question. You know, comma, boy, comma, my ears must be plugged, P-L-U-G, up. Not plugged up, P-L-U-G, up. And then it says, I could swear you just tell me something about letting me paint. And that's a question. So I'm like, what? And I'm reading, and I'm having to reread because I'm like, am I slow? No, it's written like that. So I'm like, okay. And so I've noticed it throughout the chapters that the mom talks like that. And it's making me go back and reread what I'm reading because I'm like, am I slow? But no, it's the mom that talks like that. So I think I'm gonna Google and see what's up with the mom. I need to know what's up with the mom because Akweke, you got me out here looking slow while I'm reading. And I don't like that. So, okay. So per the synopsis, right? Let me make sure. But when Jam meets Pet, a creature made of horns and colors and claws, who emerges from one of her mother's paintings in a drop of Jam's blood, she must reconsider what she's been told. Okay. So, per the synopsis, Jam has brought a monster alive from her mother's painting. And the way she did it was from a drop of her own blood. So if you drop blood on the paintings that Bitter, her mom, creates, then the monster she paint comes alive. So the monster has come alive. I've gotten to that part where Jam has dropped her blood and the monster has come alive. So the monster is now alive. The parent sees the monster, blah, 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 blah. But I still want y'all to understand that I'm reading this and I'm like, am I slow? Because the mom says, hold on, where is it? She said, I could take she from you. And that's a question. I could take she from you. And that's a question. She asked, stretching her arms out to Jam, but talking to the monster. And the monster name is Pet. Okweke, I know you're not watching this video, hun. But what's wrong with Bitter? Why she talk like that? Why she talk like that? I need to know. You keep lying that lie, liar. What? What? And then the word you is spelled Y-U-H. Yeah, I'm tripping. It can't hurt her. She the one who brought it over, not the one it looking for. Akweke, you got me sounding real silly. Now I got to text my girl, my baby girl, and make sure she okay. Because I know she reading this book like, what? Is that a typo? This say, you know, you does real acts as if you weren't there when all this happened first time, she hissed. I know you does like to forget things when it convenient, but turn on your brain and use your sense. You remember how it work? Bitter. How about you turn on your brain, sis? Because what? Y'all. So Jam's best friend name is Redemption. And Redemption is a boy and he has a sister named Glass. The sister is married to a guy named, hold on, because these names are tripping me out. Beloved. No. Hibiscus. Glass is Redemption's sister, and Glass is married to Hibiscus. Redemption has 3 parents. 3. One is his mother. One is his father. The other one's pronouns is they, them, their. So we don't know what part of parent, we don't know how we refer to that parent. Like, that's the part that be confusing me. For one, so I'm guessing this is some type of poly relationship, right? Where they have 3 people, but we don't know the sex at birth of the third parent. The third parent name is Whisper. We don't know Whisper's sex at birth. We just know that they go by they, their, and they are the third parent. I'm gonna have to write this stuff down because I'm trying to make sense of it all, because we already know what monster means, right? We already know what the monster is in reference to. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So we already know what the monster is in reference to. And the monster name is Pet. And the monster is there to hunt. And per the synopsis, the monster needs to lurk in Redemption's house, because whatever Pet is looking for resides in Redemption's house. And Pet needs Jam, the female main character's help, to scoop out, to hunt Redemption's house. And Jam does not know what she's looking for. And at this point, I don't think Jam still uses the pronouns she. Jam doesn't know what she's looking for. Pet just told her some trippy stuff, but basically the things that you are looking for, you really have to pay attention to what you're looking for, because what appears normal to you, because Redemption is your best friend and you are always at Redemption's house and you always hung out with Redemption, what appears normal to you may not be normal. And I'm here to get it. Y'all, this book is trippy, and I've already reached out to baby girl to see where she is. I'm finishing up chapter 4. I'm finishing up chapter 5. When I text her earlier, she was in chapter 3, and we were talking about how the mom talks, because it was making me feel slow. And I still need to do some research on that. So once I finish reading chapter 5, I'm going to pause, because I do want to go and Google. I need a spoiler of where the parents come from, because I need to know why they talk like that. It may be their language. It may be their language, right? And not the English I'm used to. So I don't think they mentioned that in the book. So I'm gonna go spoil that for myself, because I don't want to keep on saying the way Bitter is talking is weird or different, because Bitter can very well be speaking normal. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's trippy. If you decide to pick this book up, I don't think the audiobook will do you justice. I think if you got the audiobook, you should definitely read them together, because it's trippy, and you're gonna need a notepad, because I'm gonna write. You're gonna need a notepad, because it's more to uncover than what's on the page. You got to think. You got to think. And there's a whole lot to uncover and dissect. And I don't think speeding through an audiobook will allow you to get the gist of what is being put out to us in this book. Not one bit. And I feel like if you are a fast reader and you read multiple books at a time, and you were kind of like not necessarily reading to get them, this is a book that you cannot read to get it over with. If you don't think hard when reading, because a lot of people read for enjoyment, so they always look for books that are enjoyable and not necessarily something that they got to really think hard with. If you pick this book up, you're gonna have to think a little bit harder. It's a challenging read, because you need to figure out the underlying message. And with that, you can't speed through this. You're gonna need some notes to kind of write your thoughts down as you read, because you're gonna be putting two and two together, and sometimes you're not gonna be getting number 4. The math ain't gonna math if you speed through it. I don't know. I just researched it and it doesn't really say. It doesn't really say. So I don't know why Bitter talks in broken English. Like, there's no reason behind it. But I wanted to come back and say that I did have some characters incorrect. Glass is not Redemption's sister. Glass is Redemption's auntie. And then, of course, Hibiscus is Glass's husband. And then when I did a character search, Whisper is just listed as the third parent. It doesn't say if it's a he, she, or them, they, or whatever. But in a book, the pronouns used are they and them. Yeah, so they are looking for a monster in Redemption's home. That's what Pet needs Jam's assistant with, looking for monsters, because according to them, where they live, which is in Lucille, monsters should no longer exist. But Pet is like, no, they shouldn't, but there's some monsters here. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, and I think I did, but the main character is trans. Jam is trans. Early in the book, we get that she's trans. And then I did mention to you guys that she's nonverbal by choice. So sometimes she talks and then sometimes she signs. What I really love is that Redemption's parents learned how to sign to communicate with Jam when she does not feel like talking verbally. And it's mentioned in the book that they took the time out to learn how to sign because they realized her and Redemption were going to be friends, and they've been friends since they were little. They're currently 15 years old, so they've been friends for quite some time. So I thought that was really sweet of them, because I've never heard of that. I've never heard of somebody's friend's parents, learning how to sign so that they can communicate with their friend's friend. So I thought that was very sweet of them. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm about to pause so that I can shower and cook dinner and stuff. But I'm definitely going to keep reading because I'm enjoying this. When I start taking my sticky notes out and putting 2 and 2 together, that means I'm really enjoying it. So as of right now, I'm definitely going to be picking up Bitter. I don't know if my daughter is going to want to pick up Bitter. Unless this leaves off on some type of cliffhanger, or I think Bitter is not even like a continuation. I don't think so. But I did what we just communicated. I think I told y'all about the communication already. But yeah, so when I have another bookish update. I will be back. Again, I am really enjoying this, and I'm glad that I picked it up. I got a book update. So last night I read up to chapter 9, and y'all, we're getting somewhere. And I actually want to just eat the rest of this book up today. How many more chapters I have? Because I know I'm at least 70% in, if not 80. It's so funny how audiobooks and ebooks be having us talking percentages instead of chapters. Yeah, so I got 3 chapters plus an epilogue left. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this today. I would love to, but I'm going to a Memphis Grizzly game today. Later on this evening after work. So I don't know if I'm going to even have a reading time this evening. But, so, when I was explaining the characters to you guys, specifically Pet, I think I was referring to Pet as a monster. And Pet is not a monster. Pet is a creature. And it goes by the name of Pet. Pet is hunting for monsters. So that's why I was like, I think I've been calling Pet a monster this entire time. May or may not. I don't know. I got to go back and look at the footage, but it really doesn't matter. I correct myself when I'm editing. But Pet is a creature that came out of Bitter's painting. I just wanted to clear that up. So you remember when I was giving you guys like all of the character names and stuff? All of the character names mean something, okay? Specifically redemption. So we all know redemption is to save someone or to save themselves. That's the definition of redemption. To save someone. So yeah, we know these names got some meanings, and it's gonna tie the story together. We finally figured out what a monster is, and that's where I left off last night. So the getting is getting good. We finally found out what the monster is, and I love where this story is going. I love what Akweke is doing in this book, to bring awareness in this book. I can't really tell you what they are trying to bring awareness to, because if I tell you, then that will spoil the book. I really want y'all to read this book. Once you get to the meat and potatoes of the book, it's a little less chaotic than it was at the beginning, because like I was telling you guys yesterday, we're building up on the story. So we're learning the characters, kind of like world building. We're learning the characters. We're learning their proper pronouns. We know that the term monster is in reference to something, but we don't know what. So our job is to figure out, the reader is reading to figure out what the term monster means, the significance of the term monster, and why the author chose to use the term monster. And then once we figure out what the term monster is, we are trying to figure out who the monsters are. So in these next 3 chapters is when I'm going to figure out who the monsters are. I feel like, knowing what I know now, the synopsis does give a lot of the story, and that's kind of why I didn't want to continue to, I didn't start off this video reading the synopsis on purpose, like, because you know, sometimes when you read a synopsis, it kind of gives the story away. And at first when I was reading the synopsis, the character names was throwing me off. Like, we have a character named Redemption. He is Jam's best friend. And so, you know, we kind of, it kind of confuses us. My daughter even texted me last night and she was like, I'm tripping off of these character names. And I'm like, yeah, once we get to where I am, because she's not even near where I'm at. I was like, once you get to where I am in the book, the character names will start to make sense because it ties the story together. So now with me knowing the character names, I'm trying to pinpoint who the monster is with me knowing the character names. And I don't even want to repeat the character names to you guys anymore, because to me, I feel like even the character names kind of spoil the story for people who hadn't read it yet. What I can say is I think I need to go ahead and put Bitter on hold, because I want to know more about Bitter. Bitter is an artist. She's a mom. She's an artist. And I want to know more about Bitter, because if she paints a picture and all someone needs to do is drop some blood on this picture to bring out these creatures, I want to know more about her and her work. I really do. So far this book is really, really good. If this book has been on your radar, pick it up. Just pick it up. It's going to be a little confusing at first, but the overall message in the book is grand. It's very grand, and I can't wait to finish it. Hopefully I can finish it today on lunch break or something like that, because I really don't want to take this book into tomorrow, because I left off. You know how you end a chapter and the chapter ends really, really good and it makes you want to turn to the next page? I left off on a part like that and I couldn't turn to the next page because I literally had to go to bed. I was trying to go to bed a little bit early last night just so that I can get adjusted to the new time change. So yeah, when I have my final book update on pets, then I will be back. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but your girl finally got a little cell phone, little mount in her car now. And I know I've been talking about I need one every single time I recorded my video. I'm like, I need me a cell phone mount. I finally got one yesterday and I'm happy I did, because I definitely needed it. I think what made me so hesitant is because to know me is to know I don't like anything on my car or in my car. I don't leave stuff in my car. Nothing is in my trunk. I like my car to be clean, and I don't like stickers. I don't like, the only thing I have hanging like on my rearview mirror is a mask, and the mask was provided to us when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, because I did graduate during the pandemic. And so that's the only thing, and it's my school's mask. It was customized. So that's the only thing I have hanging in my car, but I don't like stickers. I really wish that when we got our oil changed and car maintenance, that they don't stick a sticker up here in the windshield. I don't like stuff on my car. I like my car to be plain. And so I knew if I got a cell phone mount, I was gonna have to put it on the windshield, because the way my dash is made, it's made of like leather and nothing can stick to it. Like nothing will hold. There's no adhesive on any of these cell phone mounts that can literally just hold. And then even my vents are made a little bit different. Yeah, my vents are made where I can't even put a cell phone mount on the vents like you would typically do with cell phone mounts. So yeah, I just buckled down. I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and get one. So while I was out running my girl errands yesterday, I ran into to TJ Maxx, and I just went and looked in their cell phone case section, and they had some. So I was like, why not just pick it up? And so far I'm loving it, so I'm excited about that. So yeah, just rambling, and I really need to go inside work. But when I have my final thoughts and reading update about Pet, I will be back. Hopefully it's today. I finally finished reading Pet, and this was a good book. This was a good book. It was a good book. And I need bitter. I need bitter. Because the ending, bitter has something to say. And I feel like she's going to say it in the next book. Because, yeah. It wasn't like a cliffhanger or anything. But you can tell that Akweke ended it with letting us know that there can be something next. So yeah, I need bitter. This was really, really good. I highly recommend that you read it, or if you have teenagers, middle graders, allow them to read it. The message behind it is really, really good. The awareness that Akweke is bringing to their readers is really, really good. It's needed. This was a great read. Like, I could see this being one of my favorites for the month of March. Definitely can see it being one of my favorites. It was good. I had my time reading it was fun, especially because I was just tripping off the names of the characters, and I was tripping off how Bitter talks. So I'm kind of anxious to see if Bitter is going to continue to talk the way she was talking in this novel, in her own book, and if if it's going to continue like that throughout the entire story. But yes, I really, really loved it. Once you figure out what the term monster is in reference to, the story takes off from there, and you're like really, really intrigued. You're like flipping through the pages like, okay, what happens next, and what's next, and what's next, and you really, really want to finish it. So yeah, I loved this book. It's definitely going to be one of my favorites this month, and I highly recommend. I highly recommend. So if you've been looking to read this book, just unsure, I'm telling you, read the book. It's short. It's short. A lot of you can probably read this in one sitting, honestly. Yeah, 203 pages. A lot of you can probably read this in one sitting, and it's very good. I highly recommend. So thank you so much for watching this reading vlog. I hadn't done like a reading vlog in a minute. I really, really enjoyed this one. I think I'm going to do another reading vlog because I got another book that I need to read, and I've been talking to y'all about it for a while. So we'll see. But yeah, if you gotten this far in the video, make sure you drop a comment down below saying, hey girl, hey, just to let me know that you're here. Because I know sometimes you could watch a video and not necessarily have anything to say pertaining to the video, but you do want to let the person know that you watched the video. So yes, hey girl, hey in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, ta-ta.